We're back in the print shop. I have a new plate. Last week I put the coating on the back. This protective film will come off and I'll clean the plate, put a ground on it, then put an etch into it. Here's my image. It's a woman in tree pose. Namaste. It's a protective film that comes on new plates. Some people make the mistake to use the other side, but this is the B side and this is the A side. In theory, there's no scratches on this thing. Even though there was a plastic film on it, there is tarnish on this, so I'll clean this off with Twinkle. I turned on the hot plate when I came in. It's still got a ways to go. I'll put the thermometer on it. She's at about 80 degrees right now. Needs to get up to 150. All right, we'll come back in a few minutes. This is the ground. It's called either a ball ground or a hard ground. It is hard, and it's kind of in a ball shape, so that's where the ball ground name comes from. This is water. Put the plate in the water. I clean the plate with Twinkle brass and copper cleaner. It's like sponge applied. Works really well. You don't have to do this too often, just when you get the new plate. A little bit more. The tarnish starts coming off. The water wash over it. There, bright and shiny. Then I'll rinse this in the sink. Dump the water and give her a good rinse. This will get loud. I used to grind her to bevel the plate. Here goes. Get the back a little bit. Just takes the burrs off. Corner, corner, corner. Zippity-doo-dah, zippity-yay. Plenty of grinding. It's a wonderful day. Give the plate another clean with some alcohol. Just make sure there's no fingerprints on there. Any grease keeps the ball ground from sticking. Looks good. On the newsprint. And then onto the hot plate. Hot plate's at around 190. It's plenty hot. I'm going to give this about 5 minutes. I'm putting ball ground on my plate. With the plate cooled, I can now tape it down to the workplace. I make loops with tape. Loop, loop, loop. That'll hold it in place. Now I line my drawing up on the plate and tape it down. And here's the transfer paper. I check to see that I have the right side. Nope. Is this the right side? Yep, that's the right side. Leaves a mark. I laid the transfer paper between the copper and the drawing. It's almost like a carbon paper. And generally I use a ballpoint to do the drawing. Down the arm, the figure standing in tree pose. Check my drawing. Alright, I'm missing this little where the foot locks into the leg. This pose takes strength and balance. Two things I don't have a lot of. That looks good. I'll save the tracing paper for later. You can use the same sheet of tracing paper over and over again. Double check. Looks fine. And remove the drawing. For the next step I use a scribe, which is basically a pointed metal. It's almost like a pencil. It's like a pencil just with a steel point on the end. I scratch through the ground. The scratching exposes the copper, and the copper will then be etched with Ferric Choride. Newsprint protects the ground from my palm. I draw all the way around the image. After I draw this, I'm going to put it into the acid for about an hour. I've got the Kindle over there charging. Tonight I'm reading a book about Churchill. It's a new Erik Larson book. I like him. It's the fellow who wrote Devil in the White City. I also read one about, I think it was about, I don't know, it was either the Lusitania or the Titanic. I think it was the Lusitania. I think it was called Dead Wake. That was pretty good. Basically, I like everything I've read by Erik Larson. I check it in the light to see if I missed anything. Yep, this little spot, same as I missed when I was drawing it out. Alright, looks pretty good. I make a hanging strap out of duct tape. Goes onto the top, fold it over, allows me to hang it into the acid bath. And in goes the plate for an hour. I use a clamp on the top of the strap. Then I turn on the bubbler. Bubble, bubble, toil and trouble. I set my timer for 1 hour and start my timer. The name of the book is The Splendid and the Vile by Eric Larson. I've got it on the Kindle. So I'll read for about 30 minutes. After reading for a bit, I set up my press with the blankets, acetate, and template. Fill my water tank with water and throw in my paper. This will soak maybe 20 minutes. Set up my towel for blotting the paper. I have my gloves, can of ink, palette knife, scraper, and tarlatan, all ready to print. Now I'm just waiting on my timer. I got another 8 minutes I can read. Okay, the hour's up, so I get a tray, unhook the clamp, let the extra ferric drip off, put it into a tray, then rinse it in the sink. After rinsing, it goes over on the chemical table. I can pull off the strap, blot it dry, then clean it with mineral spirits. Mineral spirits strip the hard ground right off. This one's empty. Then degrease with alcohol. And now we will proof this. Back at the workstation, this is a new can of ink. It's got like a wax paper on the top, and the ink goes on the plate. Flip over the tarlatan, and the image starts emerging. And she's ready to go in the press. Here we go, onto the press. Adjust it with the acetate. Yeah, get better wash these hands. Paper's been soaking a while now. Let it drip off. And onto the towel to blot. Cover it up, bread roller, and check it out. Line her up on the plate, down with the felts, and roll the bed through. Up with the blankets, and here's our first proof. And I'll put her on the rack to dry for a little bit. So I think I might do a light aqua tint around the figure. Leave the figure light, print it out watercolor, then put the figure in dark tones. Namaste. So if you like the print shop, hit the like button and check out my social media links down in the description. Make sure you subscribe. Namaste, and we'll see you the next time on Moskow Fine Arts.